A Russian drone has struck a residential apartment block on NATO soil in Romania, raising Article 5 concerns and triggering the most significant direct Russia-NATO bilateral confrontation since the full-scale invasion began. According to Defense News, a Russian drone struck a residential apartment building in Galați, Romania, a NATO member state. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte responded directly, stating on the platform X, quote, "I affirm that NATO stands ready to defend every inch of Allied territory." Romania's Supreme Council of National Defense, known by its Romanian acronym CSAT, convened an emergency session in response. This incident marks the first confirmed direct drone impact on NATO civilian infrastructure and has immediately raised questions about whether Article 5, the alliance's collective defense clause, could be invoked. Defense News is the primary source. The full scope of casualties or structural damage has not yet been confirmed in available reporting. In direct response to the drone strike, Romanian President Nicolae Dan announced that Romania would close the Russian General Consulate in Constanța and declare Russian General Consul Andrei Kosilin persona non grata. The government is additionally considering sanctions on Russian diplomats in Bucharest, according to Rebar, a pro-Russian Telegram channel. Rebar frames the Constanța decision as strategically significant, noting the city hosts a NATO naval base and serves as Romania's primary Black Sea port, functioning as a key transit hub for supplies to Ukraine. Rebar also notes that Romanian intelligence had previously sought the expulsion of 2 Russian embassy staff in Bucharest for allegedly gathering information in strategic sectors, suggesting Rebar's assessment is that the drone incident served as a convenient trigger for a step Bucharest had long contemplated. Ukrainian state energy company Naftogaz confirmed that Russian forces conducted sustained attacks on oil and gas infrastructure facilities in the Kharkiv, Sumy, Poltava, and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Naftogaz described the damage as significant, reporting fires at multiple sites. According to Naftogaz, as reported by Telegram channel The Islander News, the attacks were described as ongoing and non-stop, suggesting a coordinated campaign rather than isolated strikes. The targeting of energy nodes across 4 oblasts simultaneously indicates a deliberate effort to degrade Ukraine's fuel and power supply capacity. No specific casualty figures from these strikes are available in current reporting. Lebanese Telegram channel Leb Update reports heavy Israeli Merkava tank shelling of Debin village, which has closed the main road between Marjayun and Debin. Israeli Defense Forces advanced toward what Leb Update describes as the Debin-Kiam Triangle. Overnight, close-quarters fighting erupted, with resistance forces reportedly targeting Israeli armor using anti-tank missiles and rocket-propelled grenades. Leb Update's field correspondent asserts the ongoing shelling contradicts Israeli claims of village control, arguing Debin remains outside Israeli hands. This reporting is single-sourced from a Lebanese outlet and should be treated as unconfirmed pending independent corroboration. Separately, Binch Bail News confirmed an Israeli airstrike specifically targeting Debin, corroborating the multi-axis assault picture. Leb Update reports Israeli strikes intensifying in towns north of the Litani River, notably near Al-Zahrani and the Sidon area, a significant geographic expansion well beyond the previously contested south. Telegram channel Geopolitics Prime reports the coastal city of Tyre under heavy bombardment, with new footage showing residential neighborhoods and what local authorities describe as UNESCO-listed historic sites struck alongside IDF-claimed Hezbollah infrastructure. Families, including displaced persons, have reportedly fled the city. Meanwhile, Binch Bail News reports preliminary Israeli media accounts of a loitering munition or drone detonating in Metula, a northern Israeli border town. No casualty figures or formal attribution for the Metula incident have been confirmed. This remains unverified at this stage. Al Jazeera reports that Germany has expressed concern over Israeli plans to extend military and administrative control in Gaza, describing the shift as notable given Berlin's historically strong support for Israel. According to Al Jazeera, the comments mark a meaningful change in Berlin's stance toward one of its key allies. No specific German policy action, such as arms restrictions or formal diplomatic protest, has been announced as of this reporting. Nevertheless, open-source analysts have observed that a realignment by Germany, consistently one of Israel's most reliable European backers, reflects growing Western diplomatic unease with Israel's expanded Gaza strategy. British counter-terrorism police charged Ioannis Idanidis, a 46-year-old Greek national resident in Munich, with collaboration with a foreign intelligence service, which police stated is believed to be Iranian. According to Farsi Iran Wire, the alleged target was a journalist working for Iran International Television. The arrest was made under United Kingdom national security legislation. This case follows a documented pattern of alleged Iranian state-sponsored operations targeting dissidents and journalists on European soil. The charge remains at an early legal stage, and no conviction has been entered. Al Jazeera reports the Quad grouping, comprising the United States, Australia, India, and Japan, is advancing plans for port infrastructure development in Fiji, framed explicitly as a counter to China's growing presence in the Pacific. Al Jazeera describes the move as a potential new U.S.-China flashpoint in the Indo-Pacific region. No financing figures, timelines, or engineering specifics were included in available reporting. The development reflects the Quad's shift from dialogue-focused summitry toward tangible infrastructure competition with Beijing across Pacific Island nations. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Sybiga told the Verkhovna Rada, Ukraine's parliament, that approximately 8 million Ukrainians remain outside the country. According to reporting by Telegram channel 2 Majors, Sybiga acknowledged that some host countries are actively resisting Ukrainian returns, citing the economic contributions, skill levels, and adaptability of the Ukrainian diaspora as reasons those countries prefer to retain them. This represents a candid official acknowledgement of a structural mobilization and demographic problem. The intersection of host country economic interests with Ukraine's urgent need for both military manpower and eventual reconstruction labor makes this a long-term strategic challenge. Telegram channel Intel 24/7 reports that gunmen ambushed a goods truck in Ukhrul district of Manipur, northeastern India, killing a driver from West Bengal and injuring a Naga police constable. The attack occurred in a Kuki-dominated area, which Intel 24/7 suggests links it to the ongoing ethnic conflict between Kuki and Meitei communities in the state. This report is single-sourced, and casualty details remain limited. The targeting of civilian economic transport indicates the insurgency continues to disrupt commerce and inter-community movement in Manipur. Strategic assessment. First, the economic picture. The Naftogaz confirmed strikes on energy infrastructure across 4 Ukrainian oblasts will likely drive short-term upward pressure on European natural gas spot prices, given Ukraine's residual role as a transit corridor and the psychological effect on energy security planning. Constanza's closure as a Russian consular post adds friction to Black Sea commercial shipping, already operating under elevated insurance premiums. Ukraine's diaspora crisis, highlighted by Foreign Minister Sybiga, compounds the economic picture. Host country retention of 8 million skilled Ukrainian workers represents a long-term drag on Ukraine's post-war reconstruction capacity and tax base. On political stability. Romania's swift CSAT decision to expel Consul Kosilin and close the Constanța consulate reflects a domestic political environment in Bucharest that Rybar assesses had long sought to reduce Russian diplomatic presence, the drone strike providing the necessary political cover. President Nicusor Dan, a relatively new figure navigating a polarized electorate, gains nationalist credibility from a firm response. Within the NATO alliance, Rutte's rapid public statement preserves alliance cohesion signaling, but the absence of a formal Article 5 invocation will draw scrutiny from Eastern Flank members watching for precedent. Germany's diplomatic distancing from Israeli Gaza policy, noted by Al Jazeera, signals growing internal EU tension between traditional pro-Israel postures and broader humanitarian pressure, and the wider geopolitical consequences. The Galați drone strike is the most consequential single event in this digest. Rybar's framing, that Constanța was always a target for diplomatic reduction given its NATO naval role, suggests Moscow may have assessed the diplomatic cost as acceptable. The likely implication, open-source analysts would note, is a test of how far NATO's territorial defense rhetoric extends to ambiguous drone incidents. In Lebanon, Leb Update and Geopolitics Prime together paint a picture of Israeli operations expanding well beyond the Litani line towards Sidon and Tyre, a geographic escalation that, combined with Germany's diplomatic signal and unverified drone activity over Metula, raises the risk of a broader regional ignition. In the next 7 to 14 days, watch for NATO's formal classified assessment of the Romania drone's origin and trajectory, whether Israel announces operational objectives north of Sidon, and any Russian diplomatic response to the Constanța closure. The drone strike on Romanian soil has compressed what were previously theoretical escalation scenarios into an immediate alliance stress test. Stay subscribed for continuous open-source analysis as this situation develops. This brief is based on publicly available open source information and is for educational and analytical purposes only.